Oh, pass the hat around between your friends. There's no time to contemplate. Maybe if we show some love, maybe it's not too late. Chapter 19. Maybe it's not too late. Our cuddly little koalas are given the most attention in this country, largely because they are a tourist drawcard. Despite their popularity, because most of these marsupials live around the Great Dividing Range and the coast, their habitat continues to be destroyed by residential development, the timber industry and bushfires. Koalas did inhabit west of the ranges too, but agriculture devastated much of these areas long before we realised what we were doing. It is a special thing to see them out there nowadays, mainly along creeks and rivers. So it has become more and more important every year to protect koala habitat. Developers generally still don't care. The fight goes on. Jean Starr, a gracious lady who lived in Port Macquarie, halfway up the New South Wales coast, encouraged me to see what she and a few others were doing to take in injured and diseased koalas. She had a local veterinary surgeon lending a hand. Considering what was at stake for the future of these iconic animals, I was moved to write a song called Goodbye Blinky Bill. Blinky Bill and Nutsy are characters in a book by Australian children's author Dorothy Wall in the 1930s. I thought the message might be stronger if I used these familiar names. Imagine these and other children's books for future generations if the koalas became extinct. What would future generations think of us? That is the underlying question. But of course, koalas don't just exist for children's books, they belong to the world. Australians are responsible for ensuring that koalas are protected forever. I can't say that this is happening yet, not by a long shot. So my song encouraged people to pass around the hat to save koalas. The royalties from the song, plus the generosity of my audiences in the 1980s, raised in excess of $200,000. The money was used to build a brick wing, which houses 6 intensive care units for the Koala Preservation Society in Port Macquarie, which is named the John Williamson Wing. I'm immensely proud of that, but also humbled, as Jean is the real hero, not me. The hospital has grown every year since then, but so has the number of koala patients. Jean Starr is not with us anymore. She passed away in October 2012, but her dedication, back when very few people cared, has inspired a nation. A national koala conference was held in Port Macquarie in May 2013. In attendance were some of 300 delegates, scientists from Sydney University, and koala experts and researchers from all around the world, including California, Europe, the United Kingdom, and National Geographic. It was a sign of the growing concern for the plight of our favourite marsupial. I attended the conference dinner as patron of the Koala Preservation Society of New South Wales. There wasn't anything I could say that the guests didn't know, so I sang my song, which I dedicated to Jean Starr. I explained who Blinky Bill and Nutsy were for the overseas guests. After that, I just listened and got sentimental and kept my fingers crossed that something meaningful would come out of it all. My old mate, Dr. Jim Frazier, was the keynote speaker at the conference dinner, and he entertained us with his wildlife film, photography, and commentary. Rightly or wrongly, he also left us feeling that the planet is doomed unless the whole world's attitude changes now. While people like Rupert Murdoch give the Green Movement a hard time, I think Jim is right. There is no God when huge corporations corrupt governments all over the planet. Why don't humans realise that we are destroying the very thing that makes life bearable, that makes life beautiful? Did we evolve here, or are we from another planet that we have already destroyed? Why do so few of us get it? If we are part of nature, why do we have so little respect for it? If we are in the image of God, then God must truly be disappointed at the result. We're like the mistletoe that lives on a tree until the tree dies, and then the mistletoe dies. Like a plague of locusts, like a cancer. I think Jim made me think too much. Back at the hotel that night, I reflected on how positive it was to see and hear that the Port Macquarie Hastings Council sponsored the 3-day conference. I praised the Mayor for his initiative and said they should promote Port Macquarie as Koala Central. It would be good for the town's tourism and hopefully beneficial for the koalas. I just want to enjoy my bush while it still exists. I have sung my heart out about it all. But big business is not listening. They're only interested in looking after shareholders. Who complains about what they do if their shares go up in value? Not the shareholders. The small shareholders can feel they're not responsible, but yes, they are. They don't have to buy those shares. How could anyone buy BHP shares after what they did in Papua New Guinea? Greed, greed, greed. With all the money Kerry Packer made, I bet he's most proud of what he did for the white rhino at Dubbo Zoo. What do we have to do to turn Rupert Murdoch's heart around? He has the power now to change the world and save the planet. Now that is power to be proud of. That would truly make him king. Come on, Rupert. One directive to all your newspapers and television stations, and you would truly be loved by billions and feared only by the enemies of the earth. You could save the earth for your grandchildren. Give Jim Frazier some millions and he will create a symphony with all the animal sounds left on the planet and make a film that would rock the soul of the earth. My mate Jim has guaranteed it. Goodbye, Blinky Bill. Goodbye, Bunyip Bluegum. Goodbye, Blinky Bill and beautiful little Nutsy. I can't believe it. Our koalas are all dying. Can it really be? A national disaster, a world catastrophe. Shiny little black nose and fluffy little ears, furry little bundles soaking up the tears, Snugglepot and Cuddlepie are crying in the rain, and Wombat's gone into his hole and won't come out. Oh, pass the hat around between your friends. There's no time to contemplate. Maybe if we show some love, maybe it's not too late. 'Cause Blinky Bill is dying, cross him off the list. Knock on doors, ring the bell, save the eucalypts. I don't think I could stand the shame knowing that I could have saved the world from losing something beautiful and good. One doctor on the job is hardly enough. One little hospital. Wake up, Australia. It's our corner of the world. Time to pull our weight. What would we tell our children about our little mate?